had been the diamond of her season. She was capable, skilled, and more accomplished than most of the members, male or female, could ever hope to be. He adored it about her. He adored her. But they had a very different line of thinking from each other about the way they should conduct themselves. His mother was, dare he say, perfect. Nothing ruffled her. She was an iceberg. It was perhaps the only way to describe her. Oh, she was a wit who could make others laugh, but in the face of emotion, she was implacable. Anything more than a raise of the eyebrow was a case of hysterics, in her opinion. His mother was a formidable general on the field of the ton, her domain, manoeuvring people as if they were battalions. This was, of course, a characteristic to be admired by Wellington and his set. However, it did mean that she sometimes lodged herself into his life with aplomb and determination, forgetting that he was a grown man, and that he was not going to be told when and how to marry. "Mamma, I do not have time this season to look for a wife, and you will not choose mine. Ladies are not hats." She tilted her head to the side. "Are they not? They are like them. Pick the right one, and everything falls into place. But, my darling boy, you are not looking for a wife." "A hat?" "No, a duchess." And there it was. His mother did not see a person but a position. It was her great armour, and she was determined that he wear it too. Unlike the Duchess, he did not have a list of specific characteristics he hoped to tick off to achieve or acquire a specific type of person. No, he was hoping for, well, something more. He realised this was a ludicrous thing to think for one of his station. After all, ton marriages were business arrangements, and he was a duke. His marriage would be the ultimate negotiation between two powerful families to ensure the continuation of great lines that had stretched for hundreds of years, and would no doubt be stretched for hundreds more. And yet, he could not help but recall the way his mother had looked at his father when he had been small, the way his father had looked at her. The adoration had softened his father's granite face, and she had seemed the picture of happiness. He snapped his gaze back to the archery butt, and his mother's arrow darted through the air with a slight whistle in the wind. As it landed in its target, he frowned. She turned to him, her red gloves clutching at her bow, and she cocked her head to the side. "You have been prevaricating for too long for someone who is so sure and so capable. It is time that I take you in hand." "I am not a small boy in leading strings, Mamma. You cannot take me in hand," he pointed out, determined to recall that she had done her best by him whilst in deep mourning for years she now pretended had not occurred. "Oh, indeed I can," she countered, "for I have something that you want." He laughed. "I respect your opinions, of course, but you are far too clever to think you can withhold anything I desire." She blinked, then stated, "The Foundling Hospital, my dear." At first, he was so stunned he could barely comprehend what she was saying, but then her words sank in. "I beg your pardon." She cleared her throat, then beckoned for one of the footmen at the small tent that had been set up in the garden for her visit. She thrust the bow at the fellow and swept her hands over her skirts. "The Foundling Hospital that your grandfather created, Rafe, that you have such high hopes for, that you plan on—" "What the blazes are you speaking of?" he bit out, his reserve rushing from him. "I'm going to give it to someone else," she said coolly. He gaped. "You cannot possibly be serious. You know what I—" "Indeed, I do know what you hope for, my dear. But it is time that you wed, and I see that it is now imperative that I take action to ensure you marry a suitable young woman, someone who will fill the role of Duchess, which has now been neglected for decades. Someone who will assist you and support you, who will not distract you from the work you need to do." "Mamma," he warned softly, stunned by her audacity, "you are on dangerous ground." "What a delightful place to be," she replied without flinching. "Your father,